Yo, what is up? So I actually watch a smaller channel by the name of King Nobody, and he made two videos about an old style YouTuber named Silent Rob, whose work I actually looked into after hearing his side of the story about what happened to this guy. And not just him, but there's a lot of people who are going online saying they used to be fans of his and all of that. Now they're upset to see how far he's fallen. And if you look at a lot of the stuff that he has been doing to his fan base, a lot of it is actually pretty brutal. And it's how you isolate yourself from the crowd that made you who you were. Completely old-time YouTubers falling off from who they used to be. Because the old internet celebrities are way different than what I call the new internet celebrities. The new internet celebrities are an entirely different breed, whereas the old ones that used to come about were just more of a somewhat authentic era. I'm not saying that there's not new YouTube personas out there, but if you look at the internet's tone from today to what it was back then, today it's more packaged, produced, which sometimes high quality cameras isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when it's produced and packaged almost like it's a movie, that's kind of not what the internet started off to be like. And it's amazing how like the entertainment has kind of come in full swing and full circle, how it's basically now kind of like television in a lot of aspects. Sure, you could find other creators that don't go with the whole overproduced televised stuff, and then they just kind of go with a more authentic feel. But back then it was more likely to be underproduced and more authentic, kind of like where Silent Rob was coming from. But to see his old work versus what he's doing now and how he's treated his fans and some of the messages I've read from some of the videos criticizing him, it's clear that he's kind of really gone off the deep end, and I really hope he does get help. Sorry, I hiccuped. But the mixed reception from his fans, because it's almost like 90% of them are saying, like, you know what, this guy's just a bad dude, and this is who he's always been. And then there's a small select few of videos that I've watched where people are still saying, hey, I still hope he gets help and everything like that. I just hope he gets help away from me, which is honestly the most rational decision anyone could really make. But it's amazing to see some of his fans, which are some of the older, like mid-30s type crowd, early 40s type crowd, who are reminiscing on the times of old, saying that he got them through hard times. And I kind of know what it's like. Not that I was a fan of Silent Rob, but I could give you a name of a former internet celebrity who really blew up around the time I was growing up, around the middle school, high school era, who really got into some drama and completely tainted his name, and his work also got me through hard times. Because I didn't have the most happy middle school, high school era of my life. In fact, that's where a lot of things kind of changed, and my life was thrown through a ton of tests where the smile that was on the young kid that was me kind of went away, and then I became this kind of, jaded adult with a very cynical, misanthropic worldview. But I remember through that cocoon era where I became more of kind of like a bitter, more angrier person, there was one internet celebrity / YouTuber who really kept me going. A lot of you know him by the name of Robert Benfer, aka Knox Corner. The guy was like basically a well-known clay animator who had his own website and everything, and then he even went out to producing full-scale movies. The guy even went so far as to make a movie that was based completely off of sock puppets. Like, the guy started with one niche that made him great, and then he tried to expand into other niches and some of his live-action sketches, which were all right, but we all remember him as the clay animator. But the better person who said what I'm about to say best was actually a documentary guy who made like a 40-minute documentary on Robert Benfer, aka Knox Corner, on how he got into hot water with his fans and how the public perception of him shifted. A lot of it started with sales online that he never made promise on. Apparently, he just took these people's money and just ran off with it, and then no one ever got their box sets. But a lot of people called him out, and online on his forum, people doubled down. Even then, he had small children going onto his forum, and he would just relentlessly make fun of them. And then there were clips of him, mocking his fans and stuff like that. The guy really just destroyed his public image. And I didn't even know about any of this until after he stopped making content and I found the documentary. But seeing a guy who was part of that, I was part of that crowd who supported a guy like that. when he was making pure straight up entertainment, and then turn around, turn the clock forward, and there he is, and he's completely ran his name through the ground, and no one really wants much to do with him anymore. In fact, I think it's been like 5 years since he's actually made a video, and he really had no defense for the documentary that was made about him, and he completely just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened to him after that. I don't think anyone's really heard anything from him. But all I could say is I kind of know what it's like to be inspired or carried by an entertainer, and we remember just why entertainment is there to begin with, is because it does have some value to it. It always kind of has. It has had the value of, pulling everyday people through tough times in life, because life can be a grind. Life can be hard. There's a lot of emotional baggage that goes on in life, and whether you are a fan of Silent Rob or a fan of Robert Benfer, aka Knox Corner, you understand the value in laughs that small time entertainment made for us, and those times where it really pulled us through some shadow eras. And although there's part of you that says, man, I really wish I could go back to the time where I looked at that guy in a positive light, they've done so much negative stuff that now I guess it's kind of, it's done. You see them for who they are, and you don't want to look back, and you want to say, you know what, I've had it with this dude. He's shown me that he's not a good person, and therefore I can't support his work. And you know what? That is completely valid. Plus, there's only so much you could do for someone who's kind of gone off the deep end like Silent Rob has. And there's a lot of allegations that he's on some specific substances that start with an F that are actually potentially very fatal. And I kind of know what that's like. I'm going to share one more story with you. One of my former welding partners. He's actually the guy responsible for getting me to get into welding, but eventually he ingested some of that substance on accident, and he lost his job, lost his girlfriend, lost his dog, lost his home. The guy was in treatment about 8 different times, and 3 or so people tried to help him out and give him a place to stay while he got back on his feet, but he kept selling their stuff to pay for the substance that I'm talking about. And I was one of the 4th people who he hit up, but I saw stories through the grapevine that you shouldn't help this guy unless you want all your stuff kind of pawned off so he could fuel his addiction. So I had to cut the cord, and you know what? I haven't heard from the guy since. Now, I hope he's okay, but the fact that he hasn't reached out to nearly anyone is not a good sign. So, and if that's the path that Silent Rob is probably going to go down, obviously Silent Rob has to make his own decisions. And if you're one of those older fans who is sad that your former entertainer is going through some dark times, your emotions are valid. Even though I'm not a guy who likes celebrity worship or anything like that, I think that honestly we take it too far. But honestly, there is a part of us that is going to feel sad if we see one of our favorite artists or whatnot go through a hard time. Like, I'm a big fan of Megadeth. If I saw Dave Mustaine go through some stuff, I'd probably be bummed out because the guy's music is just legendary. But there is going to be a bit of a mourning/anger period for his fan base, and then falling out, we're going to see just what goes on. But I think the moral of the story is this: you might enjoy someone's artwork, but you just never know who's behind the artwork making it. And if you see them for who they are, flaws and all, it might actually destroy your view of the art that they make. Hopefully it doesn't, because just like me with Knox Corner, I still like to remember the claymations of old times, as they used to make me happy as a kid in a time where I was very miserable. But would that guy be someone I'd want to hang out with at any point in my life, in real life? Probably not, because he has shown his true colors time and time again. But to all you people who are mourning the loss of one of your favorite YouTubers, I am sorry that you're going through this. It's not an easy time. It is amazing, though, how this is our brand of connection to the people who have made us laugh. It's amazing that we have had our own brand, but they never would have thought internet celebrities would have been like this, but here it is. It's kind of becoming, in some aspects, the same way that mainstream Hollywood celebrities have gone down dark paths and sometimes completely out of the public eye. Are you ever going to see him again? I don't know. Like I said, I've never been a huge fan of the guy. I do remember the name, but this was brought up through a bunch of extensive searches into the drama and the story about how this guy kind of just destroyed himself. But, the thing is for all those who want help for him, he's going to have to accept the help himself. You could bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But that's what I got to say. I appreciate you guys for sticking through with this tangent. Hopefully I made something relatable for y'all, but I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.